Hi, everybody. Happy New Year. I first gonna say this. My internet is having a lot of problems this morning. I think I live in California. I live in Los Angeles, and the rains have been so bad here that I think it's affecting my connection. So if it's a little bit wonky, just know that I'm going to try to do the best I can. And then if it just gets too crazy, we'll just end the live. But I really felt a need to come on here since I haven't been on a live for a week. I've been traveling and working. I I have some really great stuff happening. But that being said, I just want to say, hey, friend, I just want to say that I feel like it's a really important time right now. I've been wanting to say some things that I've been seeing in happening in this so-called transgender community that are extremely upsetting. And hey, Seth, and I feel like everyone wants to say things, but they're too scared to say them. That seems to be one of the sort of mantras in our community. Y'all want to say it. Y'all want to say it, but nobody wants to actually say it. And I get it. I understand why it's a difficult space. Many of you could lose your jobs. You could lose friends. You could lose, spaces in your community. I mean, hey everybody, good morning. Thank you for so much for showing up last minute. I know it's a last minute live, but I really felt, it was super important for me to sort of do this before I have to leave to an event. I have to speak at an event today around mental health. Hey, my friend, nice to see you. I have to do a panel on mental health in the adult industry, and then that's a very important subject, not only for me in this community, but also in general. I believe in mental health care. And if you don't know, I go to therapy. I still go to therapy. Happy New Year, my friend. I still go to therapy 30 years later. I believe in therapy and I believe in mental health care. It's why I really believe that a lot of stuff is happening because we're not really, hey, from the UK, thank you for joining me. Gosh, a lot of stuff going on over in Scotland, which I think I should actually have a guest on. If any of you know of a guest that might really want to participate in my channel, send me or Seth is here. Send me or Seth a DM and we'll figure that out. So before I go on, I just want to reiterate that my internet is having an issue this morning, which is so weird because I really updated it and it's still having a hard time. So I don't really know what's going on. So anyway, who cares, right? Technology. We live in technology. It's like you can't do anything without technology. So today, here's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the delusional, and that word is real. Okay. Yeah, I do. I do need actually, no, I upgraded. Anyway, what I need is a new laptop, Seth. That's what I need. I really believe my laptop is too old and it's struggling with with the memory and all of that. So I think I got this. Hey, Heather, nice to see you, friend. So I do think that's one of the issues. Anyway, so here's what I want to say. Delusional. I feel like there is a part of the transgender community that has become delusional. Right? No, I'm plugged in. I'm most definitely plugged in. I'm not on Wi-Fi. I'm most definitely plugged in. Thank you for that. So and it's so dumb because I actually have a network person. I have a network person in my family. So they're coming over to help me figure out the network here. So I can only do so many things. So this there's an aspect. There's an aspect of this community that has become extremely delusional. And what I mean by that is the fact that transgender women, some, not all, but some, are going around saying that they get a period is delusional. That is not okay. It is not okay for transgender women to pretend that they are now getting a period. I am not okay with that. And here's why. I'm going to tell you why I'm not okay with it. Because, hey, Italy, nice to see you, friend. I'm not okay with it because it's not true. It's actually factually 100% not true. How do I know this? Because I believe in reality and biology. I got a period. I actually got my period. Why did I get my period? Because I'm a biological female. So you can't lie to me about all of a sudden you're taking estrogen and you're getting your period. It is insulting. Not only is it insulting to me, but it is insulting to actually biological women who actually get their period. Now, I understand some of these trans women are pushing back and saying, well, we get cramps that are similar to the period, or that's not getting your period. Okay. Honta says using tomato paste to simulate the experience. That again, they're simulating, right? We must get back on track here, people. Simulation is not the same as actually having your period. So now why I, as a transsexual man who has been spouting out about how that's a lie, how that's delusional, how that's not okay, how am I getting shut down by social media spaces, by other trans people telling me that I'm hurting the trans community, blah, 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 blah? Really? You actually think I'm hurting the trans community by being real and honest and straightforward about what it means to be a transsexual person? I'm going to challenge anybody out there, any trans person, any trans woman that wants to come on my show. I'm going to challenge you right now. Sit with me and have this conversation. If you actually believe that you are getting your period, I want to have a conversation with you. And I am willing to have that conversation live or recorded, whatever makes you comfortable, because I want you to be comfortable. And I will prove to you that you do not get your period. And I will prove to you that you are the one who is hurting this community, who has now taken our community back 100 million years after many of us, including me, have worked tirelessly year upon year upon year to get the world to see us. Not normal, whatever that means, normalized. There isn't any such thing as that as far as I'm concerned. I want the world to see me as the person I am, which is a biological female who has gender dysphoria, could not live in the world with my gender dysphoria until I fixed the problem, which is my dysphoria. And I need you to see me as a man. I'm not a man. I'm a female who wears on some level a costume, and that might be not comfortable for many of you who are trans, but that's okay. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about me and my journey. And my journey enables me to be honest to you. My costume is the reason why I can walk the world happy, successful. You all see me as a he. You all treat me as a he. I never have to put my pronouns down. Ever. Ever. Even if you know that I'm a biological female. Why is that? How come I don't have to do it? And how come people are totally, the people you all talk shit about, cisgender people, why are they all so respectful to me? And then you turn around and call me a bootlicker and blah, 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 which is all complete false nonsense, that narrative, because you don't want to be friends with cisgender people. Well, guess what? I do. I actually do. I actually have most of the people in my life are cisgender. And in fact, let me just tell you one thing here. I wish I was born a man. I wish I was a cisgender man, though I'm not. And this is what I do. Good morning, friend. So here's what the problem. Buck always has big dick energy. Well, you know, that's a thing. Not that that's a bad thing, I hope. But I'm just tired. I'm tired of this idea that we have to lie to the world, that we have to make shit up, that, there's terminology in our community that should stay in our community, if that makes sense. There is terminology in our community that should stay in our community. It should not seep out to the world that you're a trans woman who gets her period. Go ahead and think you get your period. No one cares. But in our community, nobody cares. If that makes you feel comfortable in your body, more power to you. And I think that's what most people want for you. But when you start to spew that actual lie and that delusion to the world doesn't like that, because the world knows you're lying. They're not idiots. The world is not idiots. So you're lying to the world about something that we all, including me, know is false. And there you are, spewing it as if we're all just supposed to take it on, even other trans people who know you're lying. I won't be a part of that. And that's really my message and what I want to discuss with you here today. I want to discuss this idea that delusional people in our community are being revered. There are delusional people in our community that are being revered and looked at as what do they say when you transition now? What is that term that they say that you're brave, that you're brave? Why are you brave for lying? We are giving actual delusional people a platform. Even our own community is doing it. We are lying. Why? Why do you have to lie about who you are? I know why. Because I have never heard this before the internet started. I have never heard trans women saying they get their period before the internet started. Why is that? I'll tell you why. Because it gives you a platform to say anything and everything you want without being shut down. So these trans women who are saying they get their period have platforms on TikTok, on blah, 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 and all of these fucking things. So they're being given a platform and people are clapping. Yay, yay for the person lying. Yay. What? It's toxic and dangerous, friends. And if me and you, okay, I don't care if you're trans, I don't care if you're gay, I don't care if you're a straight Christian mom who heads Sunday school. I don't care. You're here because you respect me. We're going to have different opinions. That's how the world works. That's why I show people. A lot of the people that follow me, that like me, that want to have conversation with me are not even in my community. Now, how am I able to do that? How am I able to, and don't call me a bootlicker and don't call me that. That has nothing to do with it. You all know I'm straight up honest. I speak honesty. I actually live in honesty. So it's not that I'm licking anybody's boots, when in fact I'm just saying what I believe is to be true. That's not licking boots. I'm not going along with anybody. And in fact, I'm pushing against a lot of people. So why me? Why do I have people who you would never in a million years think would want to follow me and see what I'm saying? Truth, 100%. I know it. It's actual truth. If I don't lie to all of you there, okay, if I don't lie to you, you're going to respect me. And you're going to say, hey, Buck, I might not agree with your transition. I might not understand it. Do you know how long I've had to explain to people my biology and blah, 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 and that I'm a transsexual man? I've had to do it for years upon years. And it has worked for me. So I'm not just coming to the table with some bullshit thing like I think. I don't think shit. I know from my own journey, my own way of being, that when you are honest about yourself as a transsexual person, people respect you. And it's why I've amassed a large following of not only women, but cisgender people. Because they care about trans people, because they care that we have a disorder. They care to see us functioning. What they don't care is to be lied to, is to be walked over, talked over, pushed over, and act like they don't exist. That's what you must understand when you come to the table as an influencer, which is a complete joke. An influencer, think about that term right there. Influence. The power in that word, influence. there should be some responsibility that goes along with that title of influencer. You are now able, there are transgender people on YouTube with millions upon millions of followers. The power, and I have a very small channel here, but I can still influence by what comes out of my mouth. I know that. I'm aware of that. And it's why I take the time to think about what I'm saying here, and what I need to say might go against my community. Do you all even understand how hard it is to be in my position? And I don't want sympathy or any of that. I'm just telling you, it's a very hard place. It's a very hard place for me to be in. But my heart overpowers my desire to be liked. I've learned that being liked can be a false space, because being liked is, on some level, you're saying what somebody wants to hear. And I'm not going to say what you want me to say. And I'm not going to do things because it will make you like me. That's not why I sit in this space. I sit in this space because I believe I have an actual way and being that has been given to me. And I have a purpose in my life. And my purpose in my life has always been to be honest. I will tell you, I was not always an honest person. I was not a happy person. I was a depressed, angry, mean, said ugly things to people, got into fights. I mean, it's a wonder I'm not in jail, though I've been there. But it's a wonder I'm not in prison or dead or just a complete crackhead mess on the street. And that's why I value not only honesty, I value what I have been given by the universe. And I feel we've lost this idea that to transition is a gift. You don't get to transition because you want it. It's a gift. It is something many of us and people before me have worked so hard to see the day like now, when people can transition and live happy and move forward. But that's not what happened. Somebody took a wrong turn with the trans community and created, on some level, an ideology and a cult-like behavior that has never been about transition. Transition has always been a means and a way to correct your life, to get back on board and to coexist in the world. This is what transition has always been and will always be. I believe today what's happening is a bump or maybe a mountain in the road to transition. So that said, and I'm opening this up because I'm not going to be able to stay on long. I have to head to a panel to speak on a mental health panel, but I want to give everybody a chance here to ask me some questions or even just comment on what I've been saying. And the transgender woman period thing, it's upsetting me because it's such a lie, and it's such a deceitful lie, and it's such a lie that people are going along with. I'm shocked. I'm actually shocked that even people in our community are going along with it. Even people outside of our community are going along with it, as if we're supposed to just all of a sudden be okay with delusion. On some level, some people will say that I'm delusional because I think I can be a man. I don't think I can be a man. Let me make that clear here. I don't think I am a man. Okay. I want to be a man. Okay. I want to live as a man. I want you to see me as a man, but I do not think I'm a man. There is no way, shape, or form. I don't shoot sperm out of my vajayjay. Never will, never have. Don't know what it is. It's the same with a trans. Oh, thank you, Hontus. That you're so sweet. Thank you, friend. I appreciate that. Thank you. What do you make of okay banning care? That I do have a little issue with, because I do think an adult, and if we're going to make 18 plus an adult, we need to honor that. Okay. And what I say about that is that I don't want children. Now, I do believe an 18-year-old on some level is a child, and can they make that choice? Well, that's the hard space I stand in, because I'm mostly fighting against actually young underage kids. They just cannot make that choice. And I will stand by that. And I believe it 100%. But I'm just wondering if 26 is a little bit too old. You know what I mean? I, I might believe that a 20-year-old could make the choice. But again, I do also believe this, everybody. I believe it's a very case by case basis. We are basing everything on like a sort of we're all the same, right? We're basing it on this we're all the same idea. We're not all the same. Everybody's everybody's transition should be and is different, okay? Everyone's. So how can you say a blanket statement? Like every kid that says that they feel like a boy is a boy. How can we base that? Especially when you're not giving any mental health care to that, right? So are you offended by people seeing you as a trans man instead of a man? On some level, yeah, but I am, right? I think we should create a new niche instead of trying to force into an old one. Yeah, no. That's a great question, friend. And yeah, I don't live my life as a trans man, though many of the newer generation does. That's the difference between me and them. They identify as trans men. I do not identify as a trans man. Never have I. It is in my system, right? It's like I'll use the analogy of maybe an Asian woman or person. Do they walk around saying I'm an Asian woman? No, they walk around saying they're a woman, though they are an Asian woman. It's the same kind of analogy or space that I stand in. Yes, 100% I'm a transsexual man, but I don't want the world to call me a transsexual man. I want the world to call me a man. So it's a difficult space, and I get it. And, at this point, to be honest with you, at this point, I don't care anymore. It doesn't even matter. I don't get butt hurt on everything. I'm trying to teach the young kids. They say you can't fully understand consequences until 25. That's when your brain matures. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And that's why I'm saying I also believe it's a case-to-case basis, if that makes sense. I believe everyone should be treated as a case-to-case, right? And not all autism is the same. Not all people who are autistic react or deal with things. Oh, hey, Eva, nice to see you. I'm glad you caught my live too. It was kind of spontaneous because I last minute did it because I just been so busy with work right now. So let me pick somebody else. How about this? Let me see here. I'd say I like idea of making it older. My concern is that people who've already maybe been on treatment for a few years who may now, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I do believe the reason they had to shut it down like that. And what state was that, by the way? Hontus, I hope I'm pronouncing your name. Do you know what state that was? I'm not sure. Right. So here, yeah. Thank you for seeing me as a man. That just means a lot to me. So Seth says, yeah, considering we have, that's right, and murders, I don't think we can assume everyone's, that's right. So bouncing off of that, Seth, what do you all think about this? We could get into this, and this one frustrates me just as much as the trans women periods. This frustrates me. What do you all think about trans women transitioning? Okay, so biological men transitioning in men's prisons to live as a woman and then being transferred to a women's prison. Sorry, my lighting is so crazy today. I don't know what's going on. I'm working on getting a studio and lighting, so I apologize for all of these sort of hiccups. I didn't know you weren't a man. Okay, the best comment of the day. Thank you. I love you back, my friend. That's actually there you go. I'm not going to forget that. There are some people who don't know about me. And when I'm at places or something and maybe conversation comes up, I'm like, oh yeah, I was born female. They're like, what? It's hilarious to see people. But I want to go back to this. So, here, let's look at this real quick. I want to know what you all think about trans women in male prison space, because they're biological male, being transferred to women's prison, because I have a little bit of thought on that. Think we need to find a way where kids and young adults are strong enough to be happy with themselves and not triggered by all the new. That's right. If you all don't know, I do tell you, I have a 10-year-old. My 10-year-old doesn't get triggered by shit. He doesn't even know what any of that stuff is, and his dad is a tranny. So it's when you let your kids go on the internet. It's an actual thing. My kid isn't allowed on any of the apps. He never will be. As far as he lives in this house, I will never let him be on any of the. He begs me to be on TikTok. I'm like, no, dude. No, dude. You can have an Oculus, but you're not going on TikTok. Thank you, friend. So, okay, here we go. This is a great comment. So, Buck, if they got bottom surgery, yes, go to women's. But if the penis still works, okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Now let me go off of that. What if they just what if they never showed any signs of this? Let's say they're an actual serial killer. Let's just say that because or they got some really crazy background. Maybe they're a murderer or some stuff. And then within prison system, they've been in there, let's say they've been in there for 10 years. And then all of a sudden in the last 2 years, they decided they were trans and they started to transition. I have an issue with that because now anybody can identify as trans. So what I see in my brain, because I know that these people in prison are also not stupid. Many of them are very intelligent people, and they know how to. That's what if you don't know what a sociopath is, sociopaths actually know how to work around the system. That's what their brains, serial killers, all of them, they're sociopaths. So my concern is the fact that now we see a huge upswing in prisoners, incarcerated men transitioning to live as a woman and wanting to be transferred to the woman's prison space. How is that not something that people are like, wait a minute here, there's something amiss with this kind of thing, right? I think so, and I'm trans. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, there are all these inmates in the men's prison claiming to be trans women and now wanting to be put in the women's prison. You don't. Come on, man. Come on. It doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure that one out now, does it? What if you could transition to live as a dog? Let's just say, let's put that over to the side. Let's say they opened it up that you could transition to be a dog, right? So now you're in prison and you're like, oh, guess what? I feel like a dog and I want to live my life as a dog. I want to be drinking water out of a bowl. I want to walk around on all fours. I want to bark. And now I want to be put into a kennel. Do we now have to put this person who says they're now, after many years of living in the prison space, all of a sudden they realize they're a dog and they want to be put in a kennel? Do we now have to put this person in a kennel? Or are we actually against, is that not human rights? Is that a human rights violation? Because if you're already in a cage, that's true. But it's in a cage with humans, and they want to be in a cage with other dogs. You understand? I mean, I know you all understand. You're not stupid. So how am I going to, here we go. Great. I knew somebody was going to say that. It's great. So Chris says, how are you going to compare being a dog to coming out as trans? I just said it. Trans is a mental disorder, friend, Chris. Trans is a mental disorder. And all of a sudden, in the prison system, there are people in the prison system, men specifically, who have been living there for 20 years and all of a sudden claim to be trans as the new law transitioned into that. We never had this law before. And all of a sudden now anyone can self-ID as trans. They can also self-ID as anything they want. Anything they want. So they could, that's why it's similar. It's actually similar, Chris. What? Okay, this is awesome. Disagree. Are you trans, Chris? Are you trans? I'm trans. I have an actual diagnosis. I can get the paper out and show it to you. I have an actual diagnosis from an actual therapist who diagnosed me with gender dysphoria, which enabled me to move forward. I disagree with you. I have don't disrespect my disorder. You're disrespecting me right now. So you might not want to have, you might feel that you don't have a disorder. Good for you. I'm happy that you figured that out. But for me, I have an actual mental disorder. Are there any other trans people in this space right now who believe they have a mental disorder called gender dysphoria? I have it. I'm okay with it. The reason why I'm okay with it is because it's important for me, maybe not you, but for me to be diagnosed with gender dysphoria. It enables me to walk the world knowing why I feel like a transgender person. Do you have gender dysphoria? Do you have gender dysphoria, Seth? Let me see. Seth has gender dysphoria and he was diagnosed. So there's me and him. No, I'm not mad. Wait a minute here. Okay, this is excellent. Did I get mad? No, I'm not mad, Chris. That's actually a lie. You're lying. No one's mad. I'm having a conversation. What? This is here. Oh, you are actually brilliant. I'm so happy you're here today because you're proving all my points. I'm not mad in any way, shape, or form. Nope. You don't want to see me mad, but I'm not mad. I'm actually having an actual conversation, I thought, with you. You can say and be who you want, Chris, but don't go speaking for all of us. Transsexualism, I don't know how you identify or what you identify as, transsexualism is an actual mental disorder. It's actually real and true. And if you don't want to have that disorder, more power to you. Move on, my friend. I hope your life is amazing. I'm not mad at you and I'm not mad at anything at all. The only thing I'm mad at is the fact that there are transgender women lying. They're lying about getting their period. Now, Chris, my friend, are you a trans woman or a trans man or non-binary, or I don't know how you identify? Yeah, you did. You literally did speak for everyone. Chris, you did. You said trans is not a mental disorder. That's speaking for the community. I never said, you actually said that. I said I have gender dysphoria. I have a mental disorder. So when you say that, you're making a blanket statement. Now, I asked if there's any other people in this room who are transgender who think that I or they have a mental disorder. That's all I was trying to say. So that's not true. And now this is, you're really showing me this sort of divide in our community. And you're showing me how it's called gaslighting. So here, it's called gaslighting. Do you know what gaslighting is, Chris? Gaslighting, yeah, that's right. They did take it out. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And it doesn't mean it won't go back in. And you have to remember when I was diagnosed 30 years ago, I transitioned 30 years ago. He said he's not mad about a million times, which prove he was. Okay, Chris, you're just gaslighting now. Have a nice day, my friend. And I hope that you are having a beautiful transition. And I hope that your life is amazing. Thank you. So anyway, that being said, you see, this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly how our community. Yeah, I did. Thank you. I thought I don't know how they acknowledge themselves, but they help me prove the point. These people come on here. There's some of them, very few of them are able to have the conversation with me because I will take them out because I don't have anything to hide and that I'm very honest and truthful. And so that's why they come on here. Yeah, that's right. So, and I don't want to have that situation in my life. And I don't, I actually don't. So it doesn't matter. If you want to come on here and have that conversation, you're more than welcome to, but you can't come on here and gaslight and you can't make lies and you can't, say that I'm mad because pretty much everyone in this room has been here the whole time and no one saw me get mad. That's called gaslighting. So I'm going to go back to the analogy of somebody identifying as a dog and then deciding that they don't want to be in this place with all the humans. And yes, I am saying that. And if you don't like my analogy, you don't have to listen to me. And all of a sudden they decide that they want to live as a dog and now they want to be put in a kennel. What why? Why would we in any way, shape, or form give that to somebody who doesn't deserve that? That's why you go to prison. You go to prison because you did fucked up shit. And now you got to pay for it. Transition is a privilege, my friends. This is a privilege. I am very lucky to live this life. And I don't think of it any other way than as a privilege. And when you have a privilege, you shouldn't have to lie about who you are. And you shouldn't have to pretend or make shit up. in order for you to feel maybe better about yourself. But when you do that, you've got to also remember that there are other people in this world who actually do get their periods and actually who live in biology and understand that. And it's insulting for people to hear that, especially women. And somebody like me who was born female and has lived pretty much half my life as a female and had my period, and it was distressing for me beyond belief to see people on the internet playing as if they're getting their period and laughing and smiling. And, it's not a funny space to be in. It's actually a very private space. Women don't do that. I've never seen women go on the internet and say, I got my period. Yay. Look at this. Oh my God. No, I don't know one woman who's ever done that, ever. And it can be extremely, um, it can be on some level disrespectful to women to do that. And when you start giving it, anyway, blah, 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 that's just how I feel about it. And yeah, yeah, the thing that this is, you're right. Who said that? No offense to the person from just now, but what? Right. So you all know that people want to always shut down the conversation when they don't feel comfortable having the conversation. They go to you're mad or you're wrong or I'm good at having conversation. I am good at debate. It is probably one of my bigger skills. How do I get like this? I'm the person who didn't graduate high school. I'm the person who was a drug addict, crackhead, homeless. Yeah, I know it is. You're right. It's buffering bad. Okay, maybe I should go. So I'm gonna go, you guys, because my machine is just not keeping up here. I'm buying a new machine this week. Okay. And so if you have any last questions, I actually do gotta go. I gotta head out to the panel. I worked in 20 years ago. It's a joy to see you flourishing. Oh, that's so sweet. I worked in transgender unit 20 years ago. It's a joy to see you. Well, I know we lost so many. We lost so many. It's so sad. I love all of you so much. Thank you for understanding why I'm here. If you find a trans woman who's willing to be live with me about the period thing, who says she gets her period, I would be more than happy to have that conversation. Oh, okay. So Seth says, Seth is my assistant. What'd you say, dude? It's moving so fast. I've been monitoring it, and you only logged once 13 minutes ago, so it's there. Okay, right on. That's my buddy Seth. Seth is I'm very blessed to have Seth in my life. I'm hoping to bring him up with me and help me create this great space, and to have him as my assistant has been a joy. And he's a young kid, so again, I really like to have these sort of spaces where I get to sort of bring together the younger generation and the older generation. I'm not going to be able to do this many years. Maybe I'll have 5 or 10 more years in me, but I'd love to see Seth move on in the world and take what I've built and make it for himself. And that's really my ultimate goal. What's my phone number? I'm gonna leave you all with this. Right on, my friend. So you all have a and I'm going to fix the lighting. I'm actually going to be getting a studio here. So anyway, I really appreciate you all. Have a beautiful, wonderful day. Happy New Year to Seth. Call me. You guys are hilarious. So, probably you could find my phone number if you really wanted to. With that being said, I hope you all had a beautiful holiday. I hope you all have a beautiful Happy New Year. I think that I thank the universe for putting me in this space. And I thank I really do. I thank the universe for all of you. And I think that the more we have, the more that we have these talks, the more we have these talks, the more we're going to start to come to understand that we're allowed to have different opinions. But what we're not allowed to have is hate towards each other. We're just not allowed to have that. You don't have to hate me because you don't like what I say. I don't hate you because I disagree with what you say. I just disagree. And we need to understand disagreement is an actual positive thing. It's not a negative thing, because you can change my mind. I mean, I change my mind all the time. I do. I think it's a mature space to be in. I'm willing to change my mind, but you got to prove to me that it's an actual, real factual thing. I'm not going to change my mind about trans women get their periods. I'm just not, because I know it's factually not true. And you could never even show it to me. Unless you have a uterus, you're not getting a period. Period. That's it. So with that, I'm leaving and I'm going and I'm going to go speak on a panel. And I love you all. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Spread love. Spread love. It's very, very important. See you guys all later. I'm going to go have another coffee. Ugh.